So guys, I just left Mattress Firm. You can see it behind me there. I just bought myself a bed. Kind of pricey, but not too bad. I mean, I'm gonna have this thing for years to come, so it's worth it. Finally get off the blow up mattress. But now we're on to go to the shop. I missed TRC today. Maybe they're still there, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I missed them. But we got to go to the shop and keep working on the 180. So it looks like I got here just in time. Gas monkey car is on the dyno. This thing's sick. But a little bit later, when everybody is like kind of chilled out and some of these cars are off the lifts, I'll pull my car in and I'll start working on that. But let's watch what this thing does. This thing's so much of an animal that it breaks the dyno kind of every time. And Jack has to reset it because it's got too much power. So guys, as you've seen today, it's just been like kind of hanging out and like doing shop stuff. But right now, I'm on my way to go save Roberto because he forgot to put the dealer plate on the car that he's driving.
Alright, so we have
Here you go, dude. I think you're missing this.
Appreciate it. Ready to do a burnout? You're doing
I am.
a burnout. That's the best.
So I'm back at the shop. I helped out Roberto. I didn't go eat. Everybody left before we could even get back. But the 180 is in the shop. I am going to put in my radiator today, my overflow tank, and I am going to wire in my fan for the radiator. So first off, obviously, we got to take off all the old stuff in here. Take out the big fan that comes with the car, this stock radiator. I have to take off all the intake piping that goes along the top up here, and then just go from there. But let's go ahead and get started on today's project, putting in a coil, the overflow, and wiring in the fan. Let's go, guys. So guys, there we go. The old radiator is out. I have to put the 4 nuts and washers back on the pulley right there. But out with the old, in with the new. I just have to make sure that this little wire right here stays connected. I am going to cut the rubber a little bit and like rewrap this a little bit so that it stays tight and stays connected. But then I have to figure out how the heck that thing gets power and ground to turn on. I had to figure that out, but let's go ahead, put those nuts back on the pulley, and finish getting and cleaning this thing up and putting this thing in. So guys, I test fit the coolant reservoir tank and it didn't fit in there properly. There was a little tab that was like sticking up over here that wouldn't let it sit flat in its spot right here. So I had to take off this bracket that goes and it holds the fuse panel box and all these wires and everything right there. And I cut the tab off it, and now I'm going to reinstall all of this and then install the new coolant reservoir tank, which looks pretty nice. I shined this thing up really nice last night, so, and if it ever gets a little discolored or it needs to be polished up again, I'll just do it in the car, or it should take 2 seconds to take it off because it's just 2 bolts and then it just pulls right out. So I'm gonna put this in, put all the brackets in, put this thing in, plumb the line for it, and then work on putting in that radiator and the fan, because the fan, I have to do a lot of work because I don't want to run the fan, the mechanical fan. I want to run the electric one. So let's figure this out. So guys, where I left you before was I had the old radiator out and the new radiator sitting right here, but there's no new radiator. The old shit's right there. It's all in. I like how it looks. I just wish it was just a little bit shinier. The coolant overflow tank is right there. I have to run the line for the excess dump. I kind of want to just put it right there in this little hole and then like route the line to like the back of the wheel well right there and have it just dump on the ground if it ever overflows. But the overflow runs along the front down here and through like behind the headlight and then wraps around to there. So that's pretty cool. And I did like a couple modifications to the stock intake just so that nothing would happen to the new radiator. I cut off the little bracket right there, and right here, so that now it just kind of free hangs right there, but it's actually hitting the fan that's underneath right there, so it's all good. The only last thing I have to do is wire up the fan to a switch for right now, but if you touch this to power, the fan actually comes on. So, you know it works. That's a good sign. And then the last thing is just to start it and let it run. But I have this one-way switch. It's basically a power and a ground. So where did I put it? It's right here, this power and ground switch. So what I think I'm gonna do is, I'm not gonna put it in the engine bay. Obviously that's a little too hard. But what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like find a nice, easy place to put this thing so that I don't have to drill into anything. And so that I can just kind of like put it like maybe right there underneath the dash, so that when it starts to heat up, I could just flip it and it'll come on and off. Maybe I'll make a little bracket for it, just let it like hangs right there. But that's the last thing I'm gonna do for tonight. Okay guys, so I got my switch almost completely done. I have the power wire right here. I have the power wire connector right there that goes to the fan. I ran it out through the firewall, or through the corner of the unibody, up along where the wiring harness goes, and in through the boot for the wiring harness. So now all I have to do is secure it tightly to the top up there, go inside, like wind up the wire because I put too much. I'm not actually going to cut it because I could probably use this wire eventually for something else, like the wire for the fan that I will finally get, that I will put in with the Haltech when I get that. But this one will do for right now, and or I could run it for like a oil pressure sensor or something like that. But I'm just gonna finish up wiring this thing. I'm going to actually drive this thing home tonight, so I'm going to fix the alignment a little bit. This is the tire that I hit the curb with. You can see it right there. But I have to put the steering wheel somewhat straight and then put it up on a lift a little bit, like just jack up the front, and fiddle with the tie rod on this side, just so that the toe toes in, or toes in towards the front of the car and not towards the back of the car. So I have to also do that. But the thing runs great, sounds good now. I think the turbo is leaking oil, but I don't know. That's something to look at better when I get the intercooler kit and when I take all that stuff off on that side. But it runs good right now. That's all that matters. I can't wait to drive this thing home tonight. It's gonna be a blast because I just haven't driven it home yet. And this is my car. So I'm gonna fix this thing up and just finish this little project. So let's finish it. So guys, I got all of the wiring done. The switch is in. Everything's good to go. I put it right here. And if you flip it down, and then you flip it up, it works. Sick. I use the stock little plastic piece right there too, so that was awesome. If I ever don't use this switch, I could use it for the toggle for like the headlight up and down for the Sleepy Eye mod. So it's kind of a win-win. I mean, I'm okay with it. But upon further inspection of this wheel over here and trying to get it to work so that I could drive this thing home, this is not anything to do with me or hacking things back together. I just wanted the thing to be able to move and coast around in the parking lot, which it does. It's perfectly fine for just doing that. But it is not ready to be on the road yet because as you can see right here, the lower ball joint is bad. So to me, this is just another reason why I don't need to drive this thing. So I'd rather just wait and hold on to everything and just wait till I can drive the car the way I want it to be driven, which is fully done. Brakes, suspension, motor, interior, maybe not interior, but the whole drivetrain and power-wise, I'd want to wait till it's basically done with that. So I could coast around a parking lot and do all that kind of stuff, but I'm just not going to drive this thing on the road yet because I'm going to wait to get lower control arms for angle, which replaces that ball joint, the entire control arm, and the toe adjustment. So I'm just going to keep waiting on this stuff, guys. I mean, if there's a super close car show, I guess I'll drive the thing, but I'm not going to take it down 95, and I'm not going to go like 2 hours or even maybe 20 minutes out of my way. I'll drive like 10, 15-ish. But like I was saying earlier, I'd rather get all of the engine stuff. I want that ISR intake. I want to get the top mount turbo. I need to get this intercooler will work for right now, but I'd like to get an ARC intercooler along with an ARC radiator. But this stuff is awesome for right now. I thank Chris a lot for selling me all this stuff and giving me some of it because this is all the stuff that I needed. But this thing is basically back to driving on a road and stuff like that. So that's good. Next week, I will be putting on my Grip Royal that I got from Nick. Thanks a lot, Nick. The Works Bell hub that I have on here is actually, I believe, for an R34, which doesn't have HICUS. It does, but it's electronic, so it doesn't have like bigger things, I guess you could say. I don't know what the hub means about it, but then I have the quick release. Not sure if I'm going to run that thing or if I will or will not run that thing, because when you put a quick release on top of a short hub, it like pokes the steering wheel out super far. Plus, this one isn't a deep dish, but I don't know yet. But the Worksville hub that I ordered for this will be in next week. That's awesome. And then it's just keep going from there, guys. I love working on this thing. It's awesome that I can finally do it. I'm going to start putting a little bit of money into this thing because I just have a little bit more money to spare now. So this thing will just keep getting parts. The Beamer will end up getting parts pretty soon. But yeah, definitely stay tuned for more, guys. I'm going to end this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, just everything, guys. And I'll see you in the next one.